Hello everybody, it's me Simon from the SolidWorks Student Leader Program. I wanted to make this introductory video to kind of go over how you get your vouchers and a couple of little Q&A, a couple of facts about our program. So in order to get the CSWA voucher, we have three requirements. One is this SolidWorks course at my.solidworks.com here. You're going to make an account. It's free. It might make it seem like you need a serial code, but you don't. Just click I don't have one and it'll work fine. Next is our homework assignments, which there are 5 of. And then finally, once you complete the My SolidWorks course and all 5 homework assignments, we'll let you take our sample test, which is very similar to the real thing. And once you complete all 3 of those things, you are eligible for 2 CSWA vouchers. The second one is just in case you don't pass the first time. Now, all 3 of these things are due November 15th, a Sunday at midnight. The reason why we picked this date is we don't want the examination period interfering with finals. So according to the UCF website, finals begin December 7th, so we made it due 3 weeks beforehand. That way, if you need to retake the exam, there's still time for you to kind of study and take it without it messing with finals. Another thing is that SolidWorks requires you wait 2 weeks, 14 days in between every exam. That way, if we do it 3 weeks before the final examination period begins, you still have those 2 weeks to study and then retake it without it overlapping with the final exams. Okay, so for the My SolidWorks course, you want to go here to training. Okay, scroll down here to the CSWA exam prep course. There's also a CSWP exam prep course, but you don't need to worry about that if you're just trying to get your CSWA. Alright, now once you get here, you'll notice a lot of these will say upgrade or something like that. You don't need to worry about these. You need to, in order to access these, you need to pay for them, so we don't require it. We only require you to do all these free ones that'll say not started. That's how you know you can do them. So let me show you what each of these are like. So each of these are just a couple of videos, then they might have a little practice exercise at the end, and then finally a little multiple choice quiz. So once you watch all the videos and then do the exercise and the quiz, it'll let you know that you finished. Here's wait for it to load here. Alright, so once you finish them, it'll say completed here. In this column, it'll say status, it'll say completed. So it says completed because I finished this one. Now, once you complete these, and all these say completed, all of these, not these, but these that say not started, once they all say completed, you just take a picture or like a video and email it to us at shepsolidworks@gmail.com. That's the proof, and we'll check you off for that. You don't need to complete all this first before you start everything else. You can do the prep course while you work on the homeworks, and I suggest you do that. That way you won't overwhelm yourself by having to finish all these at once and then doing the homework. So moving on to the homework, there are 5 assignments, and all of these you're going to want to send to shepsolidworks@gmail.com. So I'm going to go over each one here. The first homework assignment, there's a link for it. Copy paste it, enter the link. Here we go. So this is the first homework assignment. This one is the simplest of all of them. There are these dimensions here that you need to follow, and you make it in SolidWorks, and then you just take a screen cap, you take a picture of every part in SolidWorks. So while you're still in SolidWorks, just take a screenshot and then compile it into a document, a PDF. Email it to us at shepsolidworks@gmail.com. We'll check you out for that. You can either turn them in all at once. You can turn them in one by one. Either way is fine, as long as you have them in by November 15th at midnight. So for the second homework assignment, it's a bit more complicated. Now, once again, you'll see there are like a little drawing here that you need to follow and then make a part. But the difference is this time is that you need to make sure you're using the correct unit system. You'll notice here it says inch, pound, second. Now this is because you're going to have to get the overall mass of the part. That's going to be what you turn in. You're going to use the mass properties tool, take a screenshot of that, and that's what you're going to turn in. So it says inch, pound, second. If you're in millimeters and grams, then it's going to be way off. You're not going to get the correct answer, even if you do all of this correctly. And it's really hard to change it to a different unit system once you begin. So you got to really pay attention to make sure that you have the correct unit system from the very beginning. That's really important. Another thing you want to pay attention to here is the material, alloy steel. You can change that in the properties as well. And that you can change whenever you want. So, make sure you have the correct one, but you don't need to worry about it at the very beginning like you do for the unit system. Alright, and I'm just going to take a screenshot of the mass properties tool. It should be one of these within 1% of the correct answer, and you'll get checked off for that. Homework 3. Homework 3, pretty similar to homework 2, except there are 2 parts here. And this is what I was talking about. See, the unit system for this one, it's in millimeters and grams. So if you had this in inch, pound, second, it's going to be, you're going to have some trouble. You're not going to get the right part. And see here, even the material is different, cast carbon steel. And we'll make some videos and show you guys how to change the unit system and the material and everything like that. Homework 4. Homework 4 is a bit different as well. This one you're going to practice doing an assembly. So what an assembly is, it's multiple parts in a single file that you put together. So in this case there are about 3 parts here. This one, and then this one right here. Normally in the SolidWorks, the exam, they give you the files, but for this one we want you to draft the parts yourself just for practice. Shouldn't be too difficult. These aren't very complicated parts. So then once you make all these parts, you're going to put them into an assembly file. And then you're going to manipulate them so that they're in their correct spots, just like you see here in this picture. And then you're going to use the mass properties tool, get the correct center of mass. Rather than just the mass of the whole part, you're going to get the center of mass. So you're going to have to really make sure you follow these instructions here. It's very important. Finally, homework number 5. Homework number 5 is just it's like homeworks 2 and 3. You just draft a part. It's not an assembly, but it is a pretty tough part. So that's why we put this here. It's very good practice, and there's a question that shows up on the CSWA exam that's pretty similar to this, which is why we put this here. It's pretty tough, but you can, I'm sure you guys can do it. For this assignment, I need to add another file here because there is one missing detail here, but I'll add it. So once you do all these assignments, just email them once again to shepsolidworks@gmail.com, and we'll check you off for that. So once you do the exam prep course at mysolidworks.com, and then you do all these 5 homework assignments, you have to take the sample exam, which is, we created it, and it's very similar to the real exam. In fact, it's the same length and everything, same number of questions. So it's really good practice if you guys time yourself. So on the actual exam, you have a 3-hour time period to take it. Pretty long amount of time, but that's because the exam it's pretty lengthy. So if you want a good practice, you can take our sample test that we created and time yourself for 3 hours. Now you don't have to do this. We're not going to time you and then you have to do it in 3 hours, but it's really good practice. Now that doesn't mean it's going to take 3 hours. I mean, some people finish it in an hour and a half, but just take your time. It's a good form of practice. And once you do the course, the homeworks, the sample exam, when you turn in the sample exam, just kind of compile it into a document of all your answers for each question, and you'll be good to go. Once you do all those three things, you'll be eligible for 2 CSWA exam vouchers. Second one is just in case you don't pass the first time. Now, moving on here to our YouTube channel, we have a number of videos here. There's going to be another video uploaded either sometime tonight or tomorrow on how to install SolidWorks for free from UCF. There's one here already, but it's a little bit outdated, so that's why we're making a new one. Anyway, there are a lot of videos on here. Some of them, they're made from the former team members, and they're the workshop parts. This is what we would be working on if we were doing this in person like we normally would, but obviously because of COVID we can't. These are really good practice. They're narrated and they're step by step, and you follow along, and you can make these parts together with them. And they're really good practice. You don't need to watch any of these really. We're not going to require it, but I highly recommend it. It's good practice, and we're going to be dropping these in the Slack at times we feel are appropriate, so you guys can follow along and get good practice out of it. Now you see these 4 videos up here. These are new videos from over the summer, and they're not like these. They're a bit different from the workshop videos. They're not really that long in comparison because they don't go over one complicated part. They just go over a certain tool. So this one, they go over some basics like drawing, circle, extrude, stuff like that. This is the rib tool. This is convert entities and equations. This is some tricks and tips about assemblies, and we're going to be releasing. We're going to be dropping these in the Slack as well. They're really good. They're made by our instructor Julius Ramos, and we're probably going to be uploading some more of these types of videos for this semester to help you guys out. Okay, these are all help for you guys. It's all for you. You don't need to watch these to get the vouchers, but I highly recommend it. There's a lot of good information here. And then finally, our other resource for help is our Zoom office hours we have for this semester. So our schedule, it's in the Slack in the announcements channel. It's Emmanuel Padro Monday, Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. Julius Ramos Tuesday 6 to 7 p.m. And then there's me Thursdays 3 to 4 p.m. It's in the Slack. So our first office hours are going to start Tuesday after Labor Day. It's Julius Ramos' office hours, but I'm also going to be there in case you guys have any questions that you want to ask the first week we begin. Okay, so if you guys need any more help with anything or any questions, feel free to just ask me on Slack and I'll answer you best I can. So thanks guys, have a good day.